She was a powerful CEO worth millions, now lying helpless on cold pavement begging for mercy. The attackers circled closer, ready to finish what they started. Then a single father and his daughter walked around the corner, and everything changed. The evening rain fell in sheets across the empty parking garage, each drop echoing off concrete walls like 1,000 tiny drums, beating out a rhythm of isolation. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting shadows that danced and twisted in the spaces between parked cars. The smell of oil and damp concrete hung heavy in the air, mixing with something else, fear, raw and sharp as broken glass. In this forgotten level of a corporate tower, where security cameras had long ago stopped working and maintenance crews rarely ventured, a woman lay crumpled on the ground, her designer suit torn, her wheelchair overturned 3 feet away, its wheels still spinning slowly in the aftermath of violence. Her name was Diana Chen, CEO of Chen Technologies, a woman whose name commanded respect in boardrooms across the nation. But right now, in this moment, she was just someone begging for her life. Before this story pulls you deeper into the darkness, pause for just a moment. If you believe in everyday heroes, in the power of choosing courage over convenience, and in protecting those who cannot protect themselves, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to remember that good people still walk among us, and subscribe to Untold Kindness Journey. Your support helps us tell stories that remind the world compassion still exists, even in the cruelest moments. Diana's day had started like any other. Meetings stacked back to back, decisions worth millions made before lunch. Her mind sharp and focused on the empire she'd built from nothing. She'd been 23 when the car accident happened, the one that took her ability to walk, but somehow sharpened her determination to succeed. 15 years later, she sat at the helm of a billion-dollar tech company, proving every doubter wrong, showing the world that strength came in forms people didn't always recognize. But success bred enemies, and tonight 2 of those enemies had been waiting in the shadows of the parking garage, sent by a competitor who wanted her company's secrets, who thought a woman in a wheelchair would be easy prey. They'd come at her from behind, shoving her from her wheelchair before she could even process what was happening. Her body hit the concrete hard, pain exploding through her spine, her phone skittering away across the oil-stained floor. One of them kicked her wheelchair across the garage, the metal clanging against a concrete pillar. The other one stood over her, his voice cold and mechanical as he demanded passwords, access codes, anything that would let them steal what she'd spent years building. Diana's hands trembled as she tried to drag herself toward her phone, but a boot came down on her wrist, grinding bones against concrete. She cried out, the sound echoing in the vast emptiness. The men laughed, emboldened by her helplessness, by the absence of witnesses, by the power they held over someone who couldn't run, couldn't fight back, couldn't do anything but lie there and take whatever they chose to inflict. One pulled out a knife, the blade catching the flickering fluorescent light, and Diana's blood ran cold. This wasn't just corporate espionage anymore. This was something darker, something final. Her voice came out broken and desperate, stripped of every ounce of the authority she wielded in conference rooms. "Please, don't hurt me, I can't walk." The words hung in the air, a plea that held all her fear, all her vulnerability, all the terror of knowing she was completely at their mercy. That's when the footsteps came. Light, quick, followed by heavier ones, steady and purposeful. The attackers froze, their heads snapping toward the sound. Around the corner came a little girl, maybe 7 years old, wearing a bright yellow raincoat and rain boots, humming softly to herself. Behind her walked a man, maybe 35, carrying grocery bags in both hands, his clothes simple and worn, his face tired in the way that spoke of long hours and little sleep. He was a single father, anyone could see that. The way he watched his daughter with protective eyes, the way he carried himself with the weight of being someone's entire world. The little girl saw Diana first, her humming stopping abruptly. "Daddy, that lady needs help." Her voice rang clear and innocent through the garage, cutting through the darkness like a bell. The father's eyes found the scene in an instant, reading it the way only someone who'd seen hardship could. The overturned wheelchair, the woman on the ground, the 2 men standing over her with guilt and violence written across their faces. For a split second, time seemed to stop. He could walk away, protect his daughter, avoid trouble that wasn't his to carry. No one would blame him, but he didn't walk away. His jaw set, his eyes hardened, and he handed the grocery bags to his daughter. "Sweetie, go stand by that wall and don't move." His voice was calm, steady, the voice of a man who'd already made his decision. The attackers straightened, suddenly aware they had a problem. The bigger one stepped forward, trying to intimidate, trying to make this nobody father understand he should mind his business and disappear. But the father didn't disappear. He moved forward instead, placing himself between Diana and danger, his body a shield, his presence a wall they'd have to go through first. The tension crackled like electricity before a storm. The man with the knife lunged, but the father was ready. Years of working construction sites having taught him how to read movement, how to react when split seconds mattered. He sidestepped, grabbed the knife arm and twisted hard. The blade clattered to the concrete. The second attacker rushed in, but the father met him with a solid punch that sent him stumbling backward into a parked car. It wasn't practiced fighting, wasn't martial arts or training. It was pure protective instinct, the kind that activates when someone weaker needs defending, when walking away means letting evil win. The fight was over in less than a minute. Both attackers scrambled to their feet and ran, their footsteps echoing as they fled toward the exit, leaving behind their weapon and their intentions. The father stood there breathing hard, his knuckles bleeding, his whole body shaking with adrenaline. Then he turned to Diana, his expression softening immediately. He knelt beside her, his voice gentle. "Are you hurt? Can you move?" Diana stared at him, tears streaming down her face. Not from pain, but from the overwhelming shock of being saved by a complete stranger who had every reason to walk past but chose not to. He helped her sit up, then retrieved her wheelchair, checking it carefully before lifting her into it, with surprising gentleness for someone who'd just been in a fight. His daughter ran over, her small hand reaching out to hold Diana's. "You're okay now." "My daddy's really strong." The innocence in her voice, the pure certainty that her father could fix anything, broke something open in Diana's chest. She'd spent 15 years being strong, being independent, proving she didn't need anyone. And in one moment, a man who had nothing gave her everything that mattered. Diana's hands trembled as she pulled out her business card, pressing it into his palm. "Please, I need to thank you properly." "Tell me your name." The father looked at the card, seeing her title, her company name, understanding for the first time who he'd just saved. He handed it back with a small smile. "I'm just glad we came along when we did. You don't owe me anything." But Diana insisted, learning his name was Marcus, that he worked 3 jobs to support his daughter, after his wife passed away 2 years ago. That he was barely keeping their heads above water, but still found time to be his daughter's entire world. Within a week, Diana had hired Marcus as head of security for Chen Technologies, a position that paid 3 times what his 3 jobs combined had brought in. She established a college fund for his daughter. She made sure they had health insurance, stable housing, everything they'd been struggling without. But more than that, she gained something she hadn't even known she'd lost. Faith in humanity and kindness, in the power of ordinary people to do extraordinary things simply because it was right. Marcus became not just an employee but a friend, someone who reminded her daily that strength came in many forms, and the strongest form was choosing to help when you could have chosen to walk away.